The idea that humans are heating the planet dangerously is due mostly to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, United Nations body supposedly made up of top climate experts. This IPCC is what the government listens to most.
There's a group of scientists called the International Panel on Climate Change, 4,000 of them. Guys in white coats who run around and don't have a sense of humour. They just measure things. And what they say to us is that it's happening and it's caused by human activity.
But Donna Laframboise, a Canadian journalist, has checked just who writes these IPCC reports and published the results in a new book, The Delinquent Teenager Who Was Mistaken for the World's Top Climate Expert. Donna, thanks for joining me. Is the IPCC really made up of 4,000 top scientists?
Well, that's a fairy tale that politicians really like to believe in, but in fact, that's a very, very problematic number. The last big IPCC report was written by 450 lead authors with an additional 800 secondary authors. That comes to 1,250. That's a pretty big far cry from 4,000. So first of all, the number is problematic. And secondly, is it 4,000 of the world's top scientists? Well, I'm afraid it's not. I found out that some of the people writing this report are actually graduate students in their 20s. Some of them 10 years away from even getting their PhDs.
How could that
That's
happen?
not a top scientist. That's, you know what? I'm not sure. I think they just they didn't get any scrutiny. They really didn't. They said, this is what we're doing, and we're a collection of top scientists, and we all believed them, and no one bothered to double check.
Is it the case then that people were being chosen, some of the examples you give, people who hadn't even done their PhD yet, they're chosen because they agree with the opinion, not because they could prove it?
Well, you know, one suspects that that's what was going on, that in fact people were chosen because they perhaps could be easily led. They were young and could be easily led, perhaps because they had already expressed the kind of opinion the IPCC brass was hoping the report would express. It's not clear, but it certainly looks fishy.
And lastly, we were told that it relies on peer-reviewed science. That doesn't seem to be the case from what you seem to have established.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other big fairy tale here. The chairman of the IPCC has been going around the planet assuring us that the reports are based only, solely, and exclusively on peer-reviewed science. Well, when I actually decided to check out how many of the sources cited by the IPCC were published in peer-reviewed scientific academic journals, only 2/3 were. And we also discovered that 21 out of the 44 chapters had so few peer-reviewed sources that chapter would have received an F on a grade school report card. So,
it seems to me, Donna, what you also found out was a lot we were reviewing on green groups literature, and I think people really should look at what you've come up with, because I think it'll really startle them how thin this material is. Donna Laframboise, thank you so much for joining us.